Today, we're going to talk about breathing techniques to calm the mind. And so, to get started, I invite you to close your eyes and just take a few moments to notice how you breathe naturally. So, not making judgments or trying to change the breath, but just noticing. And what's interesting about this is that a lot of times we're breathing in a very shallow way throughout the day, sometimes even holding our breath. And especially when we're feeling anxious um, or stressed, then we tend to hold our breath or breathe very shallowly. And by being mindful of this, we can notice when we're doing that and then take a deeper breath. So the first technique that we're going to talk about is diaphragmatic breathing or deep belly breathing, because typically we just breathe in a really shallow way in and out through the chest. So I want you to place one hand over your navel. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And see if on your next inhale you can focus on filling up the belly first. So filling up the belly, letting it expand, and then filling up the lungs all the way up to the top of the shoulders. And on your exhale, exhaling fully, letting that abdomen contract, the belly button pulls in towards the spine on the exhale. So taking a few rounds of this deep belly breathing, also called diaphragmatic breathing. And so sometimes this breath can feel uncomfortable because a lot of us tend to suck in our stomach all day, right? We're always trying to pull it in. So just letting the belly relax and expand might be a new practice. So noticing if anything comes up for you during this type of practice, and it's okay. We're just noticing, not making any judgments against ourselves, and then practicing 2 or 3 more rounds of this breath. Good. So now that we've gotten into this awareness of breathing in this way, we're going to add on to this. So we're going to practice a prolonged exhalation breath. And the benefit of this is that it activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is our which triggers us to rest, relax, digest, as opposed to the sympathetic nervous system, which puts us in fight or flight. And so for a lot of us right now, I think a lot of people have their sympathetic nervous system is constantly activated. We're in fight or flight. You can see it in the grocery stores, and just people are really in survival mode right now. So activating our sympathetic nervous system can really help us to relax and release some of that anxiety and stress, because studies show that when we're constantly elevated, when our sympathetic nervous system is constantly activated, that it releases cortisol and can really mess up our hormones too. So it has a lot of long-term negative impact when we're constantly in that heightened state. So prolonged exhalation breathing can activate that rest, relax, digest response. So we're going to practice the same type of belly breathing. So it's really more of a 3-part breath. So we just want to make sure that we're relaxing the abdomen and letting it expand. And so for this breath, we'll breathe in and out through the nose. And what we'll do is we'll inhale for a count of 4. and exhale for a count of 6. So now if you do a couple of rounds and you notice that that count doesn't work for you, whether it's too slow or too fast, then you're more than welcome to make your own count. I'll guide you through a few rounds with the 4 count inhale and 6 count exhale, and then I'll leave you for a minute or two on your own. So we'll start by taking an exhale together. So exhaling all the air out, and then inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4. Exhale, 6. Inhale, 4. Exhale, 6. And doing some rounds to your own count. And once again, returning to the natural breath, keeping the eyes closed and just taking a few moments to notice how you feel. If you feel any different or any sensations in the body. And then for this next breath, we're going to add on. So we'll still count the inhale and count the exhale. We'll take a prolonged exhalation breath, but we're going to hold at the top of the inhale and hold at the bottom of the exhale. So for example, if you were inhaling for a count of 4, you'd inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6, and then hold for 2. And another thing we're going to add on here is letting the exhale be through the mouth. So it'll look something like this. And nobody can hear you. You're on mute. No one can see you. So make this sound as loud as you want. You can make it as crazy as you want it to be. And sometimes that can be a really nice release if once you just start to let the sound come out, whatever that deep sigh is. I know this is a breath that I do throughout the day. And I don't really care if there are people around, but sometimes people look at me like I'm crazy. But you know what? It's really helped me manage my anxiety, so I don't care. All right, so we'll practice a few rounds. Again, I will guide the count for the first few rounds, and then we'll take a couple of minutes for you to practice this to your own count. And also just keeping in mind that the mind will probably wander. Our minds are wired to think, and especially for like, this is weird, this is silly, we'll go into judgment. Our mind starts sending us negative messages. So if that starts to happen, when you notice it happens, just gently bringing the focus back to the breathing. Okay, so we'll start again with an exhale, exhaling all the air out, and then inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Inhale, 4. Hold. Exhale, 6. Hold. And doing a few rounds to your own breath. And after your next round, returning to your natural breath, taking a few moments to close the eyes and notice how you feel. And for our last technique, I saved the best for last. We'll practice it's called the Brahmari breath. And what that translates to is bumblebee breath. This breath is awesome because it literally clears your mind. I swear, when you do this breath, there's just no way you can think of anything else besides this breath. Okay, so how it goes, so usually you put your thumbs on your ear cartilages here, this little flap, and then put your fingers on your face. But since we're practicing not putting our hands on our face, we're just gonna take the index finger and put it on the little flap here to close off the ears. Okay, but don't do it yet. I'm gonna demonstrate first, otherwise you won't really hear me that well. So we're gonna take the index fingers, put it on the little cartilage, close off the ears, not pushing in so much, but just enough that you can still hear me, but the ears are closed off. And so then we take a deep inhale. And we make a sound like a bumblebee. And we're gonna do that for about 10 rounds. Now, you can be as loud as you want, nobody can hear you, and sometimes I even get crazy with it, and it starts to sound like this. So let whatever comes out, let it come out. It's totally fine. Nobody can hear you. Nobody can see you. So it's all good. And even if they could, who cares? We should be teaching everyone these techniques because they're free, they're always accessible, and they're really, really highly effective. So we're going to do 10 rounds of this breath, and then we're going to take a few minutes afterwards to just be silent, because that's a really important part of this, is noticing the effects afterwards. Okay, so I'm gonna put myself on mute. I'm gonna turn off my video because it's gonna get weird over here. and, and so when you're ready, you can start your 10 rounds. And I'll meet you back here in a few minutes. Bumblebee breath made Elliot very nervous. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's lesson on breathing techniques for a calm mind. Let me know what you think.
It made